Alright viewers, welcome back to the DCS tutorial in the Fulcrum. Today we are practicing using the radar and the IRST in non-visual range combat. So let's get started, shall we? So ahead of us there are three C-17 transport aircraft which are flying towards East Germany for some reason, who knows. And we have to intercept them. They are at different altitudes, at least one is quantitude. So let's set the WCS mode to red for radar. Then we can come down here and we have the radar mode select knob. We have four modes: auto, close, head-on, and pursuit. P is for pursuit. Now, auto mode is like the interleave mode in the FC3 module. And it's also like the Hornets interleave mode and other interleave modes. I think the Mirage 2000 has one. It will basically alternate periodically between head-on and pursuit, and that is ideal for tracking targets which you don't know the closure rate of or don't know the aspect of. Close isn't relevant for today's video, so we'll skip that. Head-on is for targets which are flying towards you, and pursuit is for targets flying away from you. Since we know all targets are flying towards the thing, we will use head-on mode. Next, if you need to see the radar better because of the sun, you can either use the visor, and that will lower your visor, you can see it better, or you can use the sun shading if it's particularly a bright day. I'll just have the sunshade off today. Okay, next thing is the elevation delta H select knob. Now, I'll do some more checking up on this, but I believe this is telling, from what I've seen from official documents, this is telling the radar, what altitude difference to scan at. Obviously, we got two targets there. So if we set this to -1, it will scan 1 kilometer below us. +1, 1 kilometer above us. And 0 is scanning the altitude we are at. So, in this instance, it will be scanning about 25,000. Oh, we got all three targets. Nice, okay. Next is we can set the radar into. It's not. It's like the very bad equivalent of TWS. It's called Track Will Fly in the Fulcrum, and I guess in the Blanket. I guess in what it does. But what it does is it will automatically track the target with the cursor. Now this is not TWS. It's not doing the same thing as TWS. It's essentially like if I'm in the Hornet and I just place the TDC cursor over Bandit, the plane will do that for me. So let's select TWF. And you see now, we've got some new symbology. So we have the TDC slewed over a target, and that's doing it automatically. I'm not manipulating the TDC currently. Or, I mean, I don't know. What is this plane called, the TDC? I am not manipulating. Yeah, it's the target acquisition symbol horizontal. There we go. Yeah, I'm not moving that. The plane's doing that all by itself. Now, if I say don't want to lock this target, because what the radar will do is it will lock what it thinks is the highest priority target. Let's say I want to engage the guy to the left. I will hold target acquisition depress, and that will now let me slew manually the radar. So now what I can do is, after disabling the automatic lock, is I can hold the lock on button and that will lock the target that I want. There we go. And you see now we're getting a tone. That tone is all that means is the missile, whatever weapon we have selected, has enough information to fire and track a target. That does not mean we're in launch parameters, because if you see here we're at about 30-40 miles, launch parameter max range is 20 miles, so we're over double the maximum range of this missile. So all this means is the missile can track the target, it doesn't mean it'll hit. If the target was, if it could see heat signature, the R-73s would also be giving tone, but they're not because we're way outside of range. Now, so what we will do is we'll break lock using the target break switch. Sorry, I thought I had that keybind. What did I keybind it to? Oh, that's what press. Okay, yeah. So press the break lock button. There we go. And you see the TWF has automatically locked the middle target, like it should. Okay, so now we're going to set the WCS modes to IR. Now what I understand is the IRST is displaying a view. How to explain this? So it's literally showing me what the IRST sees. So that is the ground, and that is the sky. It's not like a B scope. It's more like the azimuthal elevation page on the Hornet, if you know what I'm on about. Now, obviously, because these are only C-17s, they are big, but they're also not very hot compared to like, and also we're quite far away from them. Oh, we can see one of them visually actually. Cool. So we're gonna try and get those locks up now if we can. They're not. They shouldn't be in the ground clutter, so we'll find them at some point. We're triangling the nose up a bit to that guy. You see, as the nose pitches down, the changes. So let's pick up, put it right at the target. I'm just gonna keep flying until I can get that guy locked up. So yeah, I guess this just shows, although the IRST is obviously a stealthy method of locking propaganda, especially if you have the R-27 Ts or ET equipped. It is quite hard to find something because we are looking right at this guy, there's no ground clutter in the way, and we just can't find him. Okay, got him, there he goes. Okay, so we'll hold the lock button again. Okay, we've got a lock. So now, because we only have the IRST, we're not getting a lock. We're not getting tone with the R27s, but we will get tone with the 73s. So we've used the external source outbound inbound switch to select the outbound, so we can fire 73s at this point. So you can see now. Importantly, let me just pause. Importantly, with the IRST, the IRST by itself cannot range find. Instead, what is range finding in this unit is, if you think back to tutorial 3, when we discussed laser rangefinder for air to ground, it is also used in the laser rangefinder for air to air. And I believe the maximum range for the laser rangefinder is about 5 or 6 miles. So outside of that range, you can't range find and get launch authority. Which obviously can cause some problems, but now we have launch authority because we're within that range, so let's unpause and show that. So you see there, that symbol there means we have valid ranging from the laser rangefinder. You see there, the range queue is creeping down. Okay, so we actually lost lock there, I believe, because the enemy's flaring. Okay, so since we are quite close, I think I will actually discuss the close combat mode for the radar, so let's go discuss that now. which is pause, and we'll set the radar mode knob to close. This will, and we'll also set the WCS to radar. So this will create a vertical scan of the sky in front of us. We just place the bandit in there, hold the lock button, it should lock. So let's do that. It's worth keeping in mind the maximum range of this mode is about 5 miles, give or take. I believe it's 10 kilometers or whatever. I think it's 5.4 miles. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, we got a bandit there. Let's hold the lock button. I'll just hit that guy. Okay, got a lock. Okay, now because we're in the radar mode, we do have launch authority for the R-27s. And I may as well just display the close combat mode for the IRSTs. Let's switch to CC for the WCS. So you see here, it's very similar to the radar's close mode. Only difference is the scan zone looks narrower, and I believe it is narrower because obviously the IRST isn't scanning as much, I guess. So again, same theory. We'll just place the target within the bars and hold the lock button, and it locks instantly. Great. So we'll switch to the R-73s. That goes launch target. There we go. Launch authority gained. And finally, actually, no. Yeah, okay, so I'll go with the helmet next. So we'll break lock and switch to helmet mode. So we got helmet on the WCS. Let's press the lower monocle button on the keybinds. I'll show what that is. So to lower the monocle, it is this. There's the HMS monocle toggle, raise lower. I have it set to a toggle. You can also just bind individually, but I feel the toggles would be better. There we go, so you see we have the circle, the two circles of the monocle. What you want to do is place the bandit within the small circle and hold the lock button. I believe the gimbal limits for the IRST in this mode is 60 degrees left, right, and up. Obviously not down because we can't see the nose or the plane. This is an F-35. So I will place the target within the monocle and hold lock. So you see here we got the dotted symbology on the HMS. So we have a lock. That cross that just appeared, that means we're in launch range or launch authority. So we could fire now, but I will just demonstrate the other two air-to-air modes, because may as well. So now I could fire now, so let's break lock and set to OPT. There we go. So this mode, we have that circle you can see on the HUD now. And then what this will do is we place the circle over the target and hold the lock button. There you go. Now is this mode? Okay, no, this mode used the IRST 2, I think. Yeah, it's an IRST mode, which I thought so because this is also the mode for air to ground, and that uses the IRST laser rangefinder, so that makes sense. So we could shoot here now, but I'm going to show you one last mode, which isn't terribly useful, but it's good in case your HUD is or radar sensitive to damage for whatever reason. Let's break lock. This is bore sight mode. In this mode, the R-73s are slaved, or 27 ETs I guess too maybe, are slaved to the bore sight of the aircraft, and they can fire that way. Importantly, because we're not using any sensors, we're not getting any ranging, so it's just eyeballing the range. And I'll also show this using the backup HUD. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . So you see here, this is what you use if the hood is for whatever reason damaged. Granted, I've never had to use this in the module so far, but it's good to know, I guess. So we place the cross over the target, and it should lock. There you go. So it's that cross there, and I think that it shouldn't. Yeah, okay. So no, it doesn't. Okay, no, it doesn't engage without the radar, so that's good to know. So you place the bandit near that cross between the 2 and the 4, and it'll lock, and the also if you lock. So I'll switch back to that. Now, one last thing is I will quickly cover using the gun. You can either use the gun with the funnel. To bring up the gun, you hold the first D10 to your trigger. So that brings up the funnel. Now, if I want to use the radar or the IRST to aim the gun, or tell me the gun, I hold the lock button. That was an IRST, but you can also do it with any other sensor. All you do is just put the pipper over the circle and shoot. So if I shot now, that'd be a kill. It also gives the tone when you have the pipper over the circle, so that's good. So if you look over here, let me just pause it for a sec. So if you look here, this knob here controls the predicted wingspan of your target. Small is a cruise missile, large is something like a C-17 or a C-5 or an AWACS or a tank or whatever. Medium is the average wingspan of a fighter, so like Fulcrum, F-16, F-15, flanker size, whatever you want. Now that tells the R-27s the wingspan they should be looking for the radar missiles, and it also dictates the width of the funnel for aiming. However, it has no bearing on this mode we're in now. So we've been chasing this guy for a while. Let's put him out of his misery with a few gunshots. There we go. Oh yeah, he's not having fun, is he? Alright viewers, well there you have it. That is a quick little tutorial. It was not really little, it was a bit longer than I thought it would be because I ended up going to something I didn't plan to go into. Anyway, that is how to use all of the radar and IRST modes as well as the gun in close combat and BVR in the MiG-29 Fulcrum. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I've been loving this module recently. It's been such a blast to fly since it came out. It's really a breath of fresh air, honestly, the different doctrine of the... well, at the time it was the Warsaw Pact, wasn't it? So yeah, I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my Patreon, TikTok, and YouTube. And I will see you in the next one. Shark 3-1 signing off.